Hi Cancer, welcome back to my channel. This is Brookie with Nightbird Tarot and welcome to your mid-month July tarot reading with me. I apologize I didn't get to do your full July general monthlies this month. I got a bit sidetracked, life gets in the way, and I hopefully will be able to come out with your August full general monthly tarot forecast, but I wanted to do a mid-month to catch up and see what the energies are for all 12 astrological signs. So thank you so much for joining me and welcome back. If you haven't subscribed, please do so you get automatic updates of any future new videos that I do upload. Also check me out on social media, Facebook, Nightbird Tarot. I have a new magical page called Sacred Emerald Grove, which is on Facebook. My sister page is Nightbird Tarot as well, and I'm on Instagram. I'm on Twitter, but I'm not on Twitter that often. And yeah, check it out. So let's get started for Cancer. Sun, Moon, Rising, and see what the energies are for all those born under the sign of Cancer. And happy birthday to the Cancerians out there that have celebrated, whether it's in the month of June or July, Cancerians. So let's get started with Cancer. I've pre-shuffled Cancer. I haven't laid them out. So I'm doing that with you. I'm using the Tarot of the Witches deck that I have had for many, many, many years. And I love this deck. It's fallen apart, but when you have a good tarot deck and it works and you just have chemistry with it, it's very beloved to me, so I don't want to ever lose this deck or get rid of it. So let's check it out, Cancerians, for July. Let's see what's on the bottom of the deck. So the bottom of the deck card is the Three of Swords. And I read the bottom of the deck for many reasons, as do other readers, because it's like the creamy nougat or the essence of a reading. The Three of Swords generally is very much about short-term heartbreak, pain, or loss. Many Cancerians may be coming into the month of July, perhaps experiencing something along these levels, but it's very short-term. It's nothing that is prolonged. However, many of you may be still experiencing disappointment or an ending of some kind. So, beginning with the first card, and your theme or the atmospheric element, like I like to call it, we have the Nine of Wands. So the Nine of Wands is very much about defense. Something's been very much perhaps heartbreaking for Cancerians, especially the last few months, perhaps coming out of the month of March. Heartbreak of some kind, pain and loss. This could also be a heartbreaking moment for many Cancerians. There could have been perhaps a loss, an actual physical loss or death of a loved one. This also could be potentially heartbreaking or breakups of relationships, friendships, something along those lines where there perhaps has been loss or short-term pain and loss for Cancerians. And the Nine of Wands is very much about defense. The Three of Swords can also be about separation of some kind as well. But healing has begun, but the defense is many of you are standing up for someone, whether it's through their legacy, whether it's through their memory, whether it's through perhaps a benefit foundation, or whether it's just through the integrity of the person in general. So I get the sense that many Cancerians may still be very defensive about this situation, person, etc. But there's great strength for Cancerians from this. Many of you perhaps may even have had confrontations with other people in regards to this situation as well. It's been challenging, but it has been one where when you feel like you've met your final obstacle or you're at the point of total exhaustion, something has arisen for you to go on. So coming out of that, we see the Nine of Cups. So there's definitely been a wish or a wishful moment coming out of the most recent past, perhaps, of I wish this never happened. I wish I could have been there. I wish I could have done more. I wish I could have seen the signs. I wish something to have helped this person or situation. Something's definitely been for Cancerian one of wishing, hoping, wanting to have done more of some kind. When the message is, it was very much perhaps out of Cancerian's control. Very much out of Cancerian's control, because it's almost the obstacle or the circumstance was very much already written, so to speak. Or perhaps the other person had already made up their mind, or perhaps it was just it was something that could not be controlled, whether this is through an illness or whether this was through something, of course, more devastating, something Cancerians perhaps were not able to do as much as they could. The pain and the loss and the devastation, perhaps, or even the disappointment in all this for Cancerians is very much one of regret. And it's also very much of something now in the month of July you've come to the point of the realization of it's over. It's ended. That difficult situation, it's gone. It's gone. It's done now. You can't keep looking back. You can't keep going back and hoping and wanting and wishing for something, however difficult that period was. It's now the realization for many Cancerians is it's done, and now is the time. The message is to face it truthfully and to face the future, because now there perhaps will be fewer conflicts from this situation. Now it's time to heal and to move on. For Cancer, the challenge for many, we see the Devil card. The challenge is very much about why. Especially if this situation or person involved addiction. Perhaps if this was a situation of feeling chained and bound to something that you were watching from the sidelines, that you felt that you wanted to help, but you kind of turned into an enabler with the situation. Something for Cancer has very much been a challenge when it came to this situation or purpose. And the purpose in this situation was to help, but there wasn't much that you could do. And the challenge still lies in picking up the pieces after. Let's say, for instance, you're involved in a relationship where the person was an alcoholic and then they had abusive tendencies, or a person that you are very close with is very much dealing with major depression or bipolar depression or addiction of some kind, or watching someone go through an abusive relationship. The Devil card is very much about that. It's not so much akin to living a crazy lifestyle. It's very much akin to feeling chained and bound to your desires, whether they're healthy or not. And many Cancerians may have dealt with a situation like that, or even have experienced that firsthand with a loved one or someone very, very, very close to you. And for Cancerians, the message is to somehow pick yourself up and rise above it, and rise above this entrapment of disbelief. These two cards, I wish I could have done more. It's over. It's like a suspension of disbelief. You're just still defending this person or situation. The challenge was for maybe perhaps many, many years of dealing with this type of energy. Becoming very caught up in it, becoming very entrapped in it, becoming very caught up in the cycle of it even, or watching the person go through the cycles of addiction, the cycles of abuse, the cycles of depression. It's a very cyclical card, the devil. The devil's kind of misinterpreted sometimes as being a sex, drugs, and rock and roll, like, yeah, okay, but hello. How many of our beloved musicians out there the last year and a half have passed away from that lifestyle? So that's just an example. This also could be very much about illness or health for Cancerians, or I'm getting the impression of Cancerians watching other people go through this, or perhaps you've gone through this yourself. With the Seven of Cups and the outcome, very much still about illusions, fantasy, not really escapism, not really understanding between reality and between that period of being caught up in this. And once again, I get the sense for Cancerians, many of you are watching this from the sidelines with another person. And that's where the defensive card comes in. That could even be for yourselves. Oh, I'm fine. I got it under control. Or I'm going to be okay. This period of denial or confusion as well. So this is a very emotional situation. But the message is, you, yourself, or the other person, they need to act. They need to act realistically. This is not a card of reality. They need to act realistic in terms to make potentials manifest for themselves, because this is very much about illusions, very much about unrealistic attitudes. So there could potentially be, this came up for Pisces, water sign male involved, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. This also could be female. The Nine of Pentacles, very much about a single situation. Very much about a single situation. The Six of Swords comes up, very much about brighter days ahead, especially going forward perhaps from 6 months to now to the beginning of 2018. Oh my God, 2018. Yeah, there's something very much about progress and moving out of this difficult situation. This also could be very much a period of healing for Cancerians as well. And something very much long-term, slow, steady progress with the Knight of Coins or the Knight of Pentacles. So good luck to you, Cancerians. I think there's very much a situation involved where you're very much having to be the inner warrior princess, warrior prince, bodyguard, whether it's for defending yourself or defending other people in terms of this heartbreaking situation, potentially for many of you where there could be, once again, cyclical cycles of something, addiction, abusive situations, depression, something keeping someone or something down, this low vibrational energy, and moving forward in a period of healing as well. So good luck, Cancerians. Keep me posted. If you'd like to book a private reading, check out my website and the link below. Have a fabulous month. Many blessings and much peace, and I'll speak to you soon.